Hi, everyone. It's a brand new episode of 343 with me, your host, AF. Today, I'm welcoming back my co-hosts, Wasim Ibrahim, Mubeen Ahmed, and Nikita Kwakman. How are you guys doing? And for the season ahead?
Trying to get there, trying to get there. I can't believe the month and a bit went so fast.
Yeah,
Felt like it was too short for me.
Yeah, Wasim, I agree. I still want to watch some more tennis.
Yeah, you got the privilege to watch the tennis in person. So
yeah, I did. I'm very fortunate, but still, I wish the off season would last just a little bit longer. I think the anticipation would build just a little bit more, but still quite excited for the new season after a nice taste the Saturday past, which was good.
Yeah, I think it is starting a bit earlier, probably because of the World Cup. So if it wasn't for that, then we would have still been on our well-deserved break, I suppose. Yeah.
yeah, Nikita, you mentioned that it started off quite well. So yeah, this past weekend you got your first bit of silverware. How does that performance or how does that result make you feel about the season ahead? What did you see in that match that you thought you'd be able to like build on during the season? Or are we even going to be starting to talk early about the quadruple yet? Is there talk of that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I saw some idiot joke on Twitter about the quintuple, but I am definitely not in the camp that believes that the Community Shield is a trophy. It's literally not a trophy. It's a shield. But nice to get everyone under the belt. You know, always a confidence booster, I think, for not just the squad but the club itself. Especially knowing you're playing quality opposition in City, you will probably, likely to to take all the trophies this season. But feeling very good. Really like that Darwin Núñez broke his duck, I think, as an out and out number 9, which I don't believe we've had since, I don't even want to say Sturridge, I would probably say Torres. I think it's a nice kind of monkey to get off your back.
I thought you were going to say Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't think that counts. No offense, Wasim, but
he wore the number 7 jersey, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something obscure.
So that saves
he didn't do much right when he was here. Shame, poor guy. But no, I think it left me in good spirits. I think Mo Salah looked like he was just in a different gear as well. Just like that change of pace seems to be not back, but like almost reinvigorated. Obviously, lots of changes that we're going to be seeing, especially in our midfield. I think Jurgen will surprise a lot of us. I think, because we're a bit light in that department, so to speak, or at least inexperienced and then super old in that department. I think Jurgen might change it up. I think we might see a lot of Bobby Firmino in the midfield this season, a lot more playing in that Coutinho 10 role that we always do. Oh, I used to love, you guys probably used to hate. But no, it really reinvigorates me. You're always going to concede against City, and I think it's always nice to get that kind of first goal out the way. Hopefully, onwards and upwards, so more solid performances at the back. I think there was a couple of sus moments, but also we didn't have Alisson in goal. It wasn't a real fixture, so yeah, got me a little bit excited for the season. I must say, I wasn't expecting that, but I was cheering and screaming and bollocking at Hendo sufficiently. So definitely, I think the season has started for me.
I saw that Liverpool played a bit of a friendly on Sunday as well. Konate got injured. You know how bad that injury is, though.
Apparently, it was just a precaution that he came off, just a tight muscle. So it doesn't seem to be anything long stay. What I was a bit surprised by was Keita and Curtis Jones not playing in that fixture because they were subbed on pretty late on in the Community Shield, but it seems like they both have a knock. Shock horror. I'm pretty sure like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was feeling lonely on the physio bench, so Navi was like, nah, I have to get injured to go keep him company or something. But other than that, I mean, we have quite a few injuries to be fair. I mean, Allison we expect back next week. Diogo we expect back in the next 2 weeks. Signed a new contract today, so I think he will probably be back even quicker now that he's getting more money. So yeah, I think going into the season probably in the best kind of squad shape that we've been in for a long time, other than the fact that we've lost Mana and that man never got injured. Definitely will definitely be missed for sure, but onwards and upwards, ready for the new season now, I think, after saying all the words out loud.
Yeah. Just staying with that Community Shield match, what's your first thoughts about Erling Haaland playing against English opposition?
Look, I think it's hard to judge him of one fixture, and then of course his first fixture is arguably against one of the best centre backs on the planet at the moment. And you know, I've got a lot of love for Joe Matip, so, and I think he's really solid. So you know, to put him up against them, I mean, he had a couple of chances, but where I think he really showed his kind of elite status is in his movement. You know, he's drifting, trying to get in between the spaces. I think he targeted Trent a couple of times in that channel. I think he's going to cause a hell of a lot of problems. Yeah, okay, yeah, he missed open goals, but I mean, that could happen to anybody, you know, that could have happened to, okay, the only person that couldn't have happened to is Pipo Inzaghi, because that man was a tapping specialist. But I mean, you got to give him some time to settle in. I still think if he stays fit, he's going to score a ton of goals. They are going to create goals for that man, left, right, and center. I initially giggled at a golden boot opportunity, but seeing his quality not in person, but against Liverpool on Saturday, definitely makes me quake a little bit. I think, like I said, if he's fit, he's a beast. I mean, he's huge.
Yeah.
He's intimidating. I mean, he's about 3 Mo Salahs tall. 3 Mo Salahs and a Thiago tall. He's huge. He's posing. Really good, as I always say, to see great talent come to the Premier League. So wish him all the best. But
just not against you
yeah,
guys.
Just not against us or against any of the other top 6, and hopefully they lose against Bournemouth, etc. Hope he blanks against Newcastle, etc. I really don't want him to win 3 on the spin this year.
Yeah, I don't like Pep's never done that, eh? Sir Alex was the last manager to do that. 3 in a row.
Alex, or was it Sir Alex?
Yeah,
not
Sir Alex.
Mourinho. Yeah, Sir Alex.
Sir Alex did 3 in a row, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I think it'll be
I think Pep's done it like twice in a row, twice.
Yeah, and then Liverpool won.
Yeah, and then Liverpool, like the first one was, I think, Leicester that broke the streak, and then Liverpool broke the streak. So
I think it was Leicester was Pellegrini, eh? So.
Oh, okay.
Ranieri. Oh, you mean the manager?
At Man City.
Yeah, I think so. And then that man, sure. I hope he's retired somewhere nice now. He looked super drained after he had that City gig. Look at Mubeen, he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they all. I think Pep's the only one that really still looks invigorated and you know.
He loves it. I feel like he wants to stay at City forever.
But everyone that leaves City, they look like they need to draw their pension.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must say just one more comment about City before we move on swiftly, is that I mean, Kevin De Bruyne obviously always fantastic and still at the peak of his game, even at, I think he's 30 or turning 31. But if they lose Bernardo Silva, which I mean has been talked about every season, you know, since Kingdom Come, but I think he's such a critical part of the system. You know, and watching them again after a long time, kind of cold on Saturday, I do think that it'll be hard to replace him. I know they've got like for like kind of in Gundogan, etc. But I do think replacing that guy, filling that guy's shoes, albeit small, will be tough for City. Yeah, even as incredible as they are.
The thing about Bernardo Silva is that he was seen as David Silva's successor. And
100%.
I don't think they weren't using him as much the season before. And that's when he made up his mind that he wanted to leave. And then last season, Pep was like, I'm going to play him every single game and hope that I'm going to convince him to stay. And that didn't do the trick. He still wants to leave. So I guess it's a bit too little too late. And now he's going to go. And Gundogan's on the transfer market as well. So I read this morning that Lucas Paqueta is the person that they're looking at to replace Bernardo with. But he doesn't have close control the way Bernardo does. I mean, Bernardo just he's so nimble and he glides through tiny spaces. He's amazing.
100%. Yeah. Be interesting to watch.
Yeah. Wasim, now that Newcastle has had a full preseason behind him, they've added some names in the window, they've splashed some money. What's your hopes for the season ahead now that Eddie Howe has had a chance? He's basically had a half season to get through with the old squad. He's had a full preseason with the old squad plus some new incomings. What are your hopes for the season ahead?
I think, yeah, my hopes are definitely going to be to push on from last season. If we're going to put it into actual quantity, then top 8 would be my hopes. I think Nikita always mentioned that to me, that top 8 this season would be or should be what we're aiming for, perhaps even top 6. But yeah, I think we finished 11th last season after having a very good second half of the season. So anything above 11th should be, considered improvement. But I think top 8, given the fact that we signed 5 players in January, we've signed 3 thus far. And, Howe has already changed our style of play, our philosophy. So, and he's had a full preseason plus that half season. So I think we can expect a lot of exciting football in terms of brand of football playing out from the back. He's bought Nick Pope. We've got 2 new centre backs, Botman, Bernie. We bought in January. So I think he's sort of gotten the style of players that he wants to that will suit our style of play. So I'm intrigued to see that. But yeah, I think definitely top 8 if we can, try and do better against the top 6 teams, because I think apart from winning against Arsenal in our last home game of the season, we basically, sorry, the light just went out here. Top 8 when we beat Arsenal in the last game of the season, but apart from that, we actually struggled against the top 6 teams. We got lost badly against City, lost to Liverpool quite easily as well, Chelsea. So I think what we've got to do is we've got to improve in our games against the top 6. Obviously, we're not expecting to beat them regularly, but at least compete more better at least, and then try and beat or challenge for consistently for teams like Wolves, Leicester, who we expect to be around us. So if we can get some consistency going, then I think a top 8 finish is not out of the question, because the traditional top 6 is there, and then you've got the likes of Leicester and Wolves and some others, West Ham, for example, who are going to push for that top 8 as well. So I think we just got to fight clever against those teams, and we can. It's not out of the question, definitely not.
Yeah, you guys are running a bit thin up top though. Like another injury to Callum Wilson, and things could go downhill a bit for you guys.
That's we've always had 2 areas of weakness. One was left back, and one was striker, where we never seemed to have a player that would be consistent, in terms of injuries and performances. And we've got that with Callum Wilson, and we've got that now with Matt Targett, who we've signed. But if we take those 2 away, injuries in those positions, then all of a sudden we struggle. So that is a problem, and I think we are trying to address it. We've made offers for James Maddison recently. It's reported that it's been rejected, but I think that is an indication that we are looking to add quality. And I mean, Maddison is a proven Premier League player, and he's at 25, so he's around his peak, and which I think would be amazing for us. So if we can get a player of his quality in, I don't think it will be him, because I think Leicester, they're a very tough team in terms of negotiation. So I don't see us getting him, but if we can get someone of his quality added to that, maybe another striker for Callum Wilson in case he gets injured, when he does, because that man is made of plastic. But yeah, basically that is our problem. If we can get more depth in our attacking areas, because I think we scored 44 goals last season out of 38 games. That's not great at all. And if you want to push top 8, you either need to be very, very sound defensively, which I think we're not far from. But you know, in the Premier League, given the quality all the other teams have, you're going to concede almost every game at least. So we need to be better defensively and score more goals. And I think that's something that will be addressed before the window closes. I can't wait to see who it's going to be, because if we're talking the likes of Madison, Musa Diaby, those guys, those are all really exciting players. And apart from St. Maximin and Bruno Guimaraes and Callum Wilson, we're still lacking a bit of impetus up front. So I'm looking forward to seeing who we get eventually.
Yeah, I'm actually just okay. Go ahead, Mubeen.
Yeah, just a small little point there. So reading an article, and Roger said that if Newcastle think the 40 million is good enough for Madison, it's only worth half of his left leg, I think.
I saw that. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Leicester are in a bit of a financial trouble in terms of they haven't signed anybody thus far, given the fact that they are in some financial difficulty. But I've seen that Chelsea are in for Fofana, and if Leicester sell to Chelsea, I think it's going to be something like 80 million, which should then sort out all the financial trouble. So that's the thing. They won't sell both of them. And given the fact that we're up against Chelsea, I see Chelsea blowing us out of the water. We're still trying to be very, shrewd in our signings, because we're scared of our financial fair play, and we still need to get more sponsors on board and things like that. So I see Chelsea getting him, and then that's the end. And as Roger said, you wouldn't want to lose such a good player so soon before the season. And I think that's also why he publicly stated that it's only going to buy 3/4 of his left leg, and given that he's right-footed and all of that. So yeah, it's definitely I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Newcastle squad at the moment, and there's only 2 forwards that's listed over here, and that's Callum Wilson and St. Maximin. I mean, you'll have people like Joe Linton and Miguel Almiron, but
Chris Wood is there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Chris Wood is there.
Chris Wood is there,
but
as well,
he also hasn't done great since he joined us. I think it's exactly like 2 goals. So yeah, he's played a lot, but he hasn't scored much. So that shows that I think it doesn't suit our style of play. He was more suited for Burnley or quite direct and whatever target man type of stuff. Whereas for us, we try and work it out from the back. We try and interchange, one touch, things like that, which doesn't suit his style of play. So so if we can get the striker to sort of go above Wood in the rankings, but behind Callum Wilson, or maybe a young up and coming striker to eventually take over from Wilson, that will also be great.
Yeah, because I mean, like, people like when Joe Linton arrived at the club, people thought that he was a number 9, but he was used incorrectly, if I'm making sense, because since Eddie Howe came in, he's been playing on that left wing position coming in, and he's been so much more effective playing that way, feeding the actual number 9 in.
Because when we signed Joe Linton, he was playing out wide, or was part of it. I think it was a front 3 at Offenheim. So he was then signed by us as a centre forward, which wasn't what he was, doing consistently in Germany. So when we moved him back out to the left, and then eventually now he's part of the midfield 3, which sits actually a bit deeper. That brings out these strong characteristics, his strength, that brings out his strength. So that's also the thing. We kind of figured it out afterwards by accident, instead of the scouts actually, reporting correctly and signing him for what his strengths held.
Yeah, I hope that your hopes for Newcastle this season comes through. On to my team, or should I say our team, Mubeen. Once again, you are stuck with the Manchester United topic.
Nothing new there.
I'm thinking that you might be a bit more hopeful come this start of the season than you were last season. Is that because we have been in the 18 area?
What a complete shock and surprise That was, yeah, you know, usually you see these little talks and articles, and you just wake up and Ben is the new first team forwards coach for United. And I think I mentioned to you the other evening, how's a guy like Benning in a tower and Ronaldo? Listen here, my bro, you mustn't push. But yeah, look, I'm happy for the guy. Obviously, he's a Champions League winner. He bagged 2 against us in that Champions League winning campaign of Porto, and he's been around the block. I mean, he's done well with Cape Town City. He's taken, I think, Amazulu last season to 2nd, and he's got his UEFA or FIFA Pro coaching license. So, you know, absolutely happy for him, and I hope, you know, you can do us proud and obviously make do United proud, and you know, go from strength to strength. Yeah.
I think also the fact that like it's a good advert for people coming from Cape Town in like the sort of township areas. You like see that like anything is possible, whether you're playing football, whether you're coaching football. Like the sky's the limit. Anything can be accomplished if you just like put your head down and start working.
100%.
Yeah, so I'm quite chuffed to him. In terms of Erik ten Hag, what do you think? What are your hopes for the season? What are your hopes that you can accomplish at United this season?
Yeah, look, I think they had a decent preseason. Let's start a couple of wins from the beginning, and then a loss, I think, and then a couple of draws on the back end. But you know, he seems to sort of he's drilling the team in the right direction. Definitely a no-nonsense character from, you know, a couple of clips that I've seen, and I think the team will gravitate towards him. And my hopes for the season is, look, obviously no, we're not going to contend for the title, but I hope at least we get a cup run, you know, in one of the competitions, and then obviously we need to start contesting and contending against our arch rivals, you know, not getting beaten up badly like we have, you know, in last season. So you know, I think a top 4 finish this season would be regarded as a good season, and if we do get a cup in one of the cups, or we'll take it deep in one of the cups in a cup run, I think it will be regarded as a decent season. But we need to contest, like, very, very badly. We need to contest and show that, you know, we are there. We're not going back, and we're actually taking steps forward into becoming a championship team again.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think like I watched majority of the preseason games, and I have seen a visible change of style in the way that they're playing. They are pressing. It's not like with last season with Rangnick. Everybody knew that Rangnick was a good coach in terms of pressing, but it never ever came across to the players. So whatever Ten Hag is doing, it's working because the players are buying into it. I don't know if it's because they know that this guy's the permanent manager, whereas Rangnick was just there for 2 seconds and they knew that he was going to go. I don't know if it's that, but the players are buying into it. The players look hungrier this season. I don't know if like what Ten Hag is doing different. I don't know. Mitchell van der Graag, I think that's his name, the assistant manager. Apparently he's quite vocal and quite active on the training ground as well. So I think the building blocks are there. It's now just time for them to execute it properly. I'm hoping for a top 4 finish, but it's going to be tough. Like a lot of teams are strengthened. I mean, Chelsea hijacked the Cucurella deal from Man City, so it looks like he's going there. You mentioned earlier, I think it was Wasim, that they're getting Fofana as well, or they've put a bid in for Fofana. So, I mean, these teams are strengthening quite well. Tottenham strengthened quite well. Arsenal looks absolutely insane at the moment. Gabriel Jesus looks like he's going to hit the ground running. So it's going to be tough for that top 4 spot. I can't even give a prediction of who I think will fall out 3 and 4. Like we already know who's going to be 1 and 2. So I'm not even going to like argue with that one. But yeah, 3 and 4, it's going to be quite open. Or that's how it seems to me right now. What are your guys' thoughts on that, on the top 4 race?
I think it's done. I think it's done. City, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea. I don't think Arsenal even get in the top 4, despite the strides they've made in the transfer market and how good they're looking. I think the fact that Spurs did their business early and they did it well, and they signed the Conte players that he wanted, I think that kind of gets them guaranteed into the top 3. And I think Chelsea are just like, ultimately just too strong, managers too good. No crazy owner to fire him after, he loses the bowling competition on a Tuesday night. I think the top 4 is done. I think Arsenal in 5, and I think Newcastle in 6.
Wow.
Wasim.
In the season now, can we just in the season?
I'll speak it into existence. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? That's for nothing against United. I just don't think you guys have done anything in the transfer market. That's my honest opinion. You got rid of a lot of deadwood, which I think is super healthy, but I don't think you guys did enough in the transfer market.
I still think that there's some people that we need to either send out on loan or sell, though. Anthony Elanga, I don't think he should be staying at United this season. I think a loan would be good for him. Because, we saw that drop off against Rayo Vallecano in the last preseason game when Sancho wasn't playing. You could see the drop off. It was shocking. Like Sancho offered so much, and in the minute we dropped down to Elanga, there was nothing coming in from his side. The creativity was gone, and I think that's why Erik ten Hag is still actively looking for another right winger, because he knows one injury to Sancho and it's going to be over.
So go for it, Wasim. Tell us.
I just wanted to. My thing is that as I saw with Newcastle, is when you get a manager who comes in and he has a style of play and he has a philosophy and he gives the players that direction, that look, because a lot of the players, they come from foreign countries, whatever, it might be difficult for them to adjust. And then whereas now all of a sudden you've got a manager who has an identity, and he goes about playing football a certain way. Certain players could then just buy into it and be like, wow, this is all I needed. I want to play football. I want to enjoy my football. Here's a coach that's telling me what to do, how to do it, so I can just go about there and do my thing. So I think a lot of players will buy into that, and it will be good for United. The only thing is, do you have, the quality in certain key positions? Whereas, like, if you want to play a certain brand of pressing and you want to, build from the back, whatever it is, do you have the correct players in the positions like midfield? Whereas McTominay and Fred have proven to be, not good enough to do that in the past. So are you going to get the quality in, like Frankie de Jong or whoever it's going to be? Are you going to get those players to then do it? Because you do have a lot of talent in your squad. So if you just have that buy-in from the players, then it's going to be, Faraz is looking shocked. But I think your squad is not as bad. You just need key positions to be held by good players, and you can
holding them up.
I'm just
holding them up, Wasim.
I'm just like, I just had that reaction because it's been, how long have we been chasing Frankie de Jong for? And there's so many quotes that he doesn't want to come to the club.
I think it's 17 weeks. But but the thing is, that is crazy. But I think you still have some star players, in your squad, and you just need them to buy into what Ten Hag's saying, and perhaps it can lift the others. And you never know what could happen, because, like I say, Newcastle is a case in point where we all thought, Steve Bruce told us, we have a relegation, squad. And then all of a sudden, a new manager comes in. Joe Linton looks like a world beater because he's been given the direction and, he's been given the style of play and he's got a manager that backs him, and not just a manager that says, go and enjoy your football, go, good luck and enjoy, he actually tells you, right, this is what you need to do. You need to press, you need to do this, counter, whatever all those words are. But I just feel that Ten Hag is that manager who could potentially give these players direction that they've been lacking. And you never know, with that guidance, it could take you places. So that's what I'm saying. Just don't discount the fact that this direction that he could give you, doesn't, it could work. And if it does, other teams have been inconsistent as well. So then a top 4, top 6 place is not out of the question.
I find it very suspicious. I find it very suspicious that you're also sponsored by Team VY. I'm very suspicious. So you're not going to tell us your top 6 or what? Come on, man. Put your head on the block.
Wasim, let's go.
Top 6. Okay. I think I agree with Nikita in that top 4 is probably my top 4 as well. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than we think, with Arsenal and United not out of the woods as well. So I think, like we saw last season, the fact that United don't have Champions League means that they could potentially then, give it all in the league and then just sort of make their way through the Europa, playing some key players in certain games, home games perhaps, and, play key players, but in away games, you kind of rest certain players and keep them for the league games. So you never know, like, and Arsenal, they perhaps are better than what they were last year, but they still, for me, I'm still yet to be won over that they can be consistently good, because they were very good for a lot of last season, but they were also shocking for for a few games of last season. So that's the thing. I mean, we played them off the park when the Champions League was on the line for them, and we still, won it comfortably. So that's my thing. With Arsenal, is their manager a strong enough personality? Perhaps not. And that's where I think United could make up for it. So yeah, I think the top 6 will be those 6 teams, the big 6, but then it's going to be close between them, and then Newcastle, Wolves, Leicester, West Ham probably make out the rest of the top 10.
Sounds good. Mubeen?
Yeah, as much as it pains me, City, Liverpool. I've actually been giving it a bit of thought now. I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs do sneak up into that 3rd position. I think Conte's doing some fantastic things with Spurs. And you know me, when it comes to United, I'm not biased. I'm always optimistic, and I'm saying we're going to land up in 4th. And then obviously maybe Chelsea, Arsenal, that'll make up the top 6.
Sounds good. I'm going to be super controversial right now.
Oh, do tell.
Chelsea is going to win the league. Liverpool 2nd.
Are you unwell? Are you unwell?
Spurs in 3rd. United in 4th.
Arsenal, oh my gosh.
In
Man City relegated.
Wait, sorry, I'm still in a bit of shock. You said Chelsea, Liverpool?
Chelsea, Liverpool, City, United.
City,
okay.
United.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, it goes behind to get the firing squad. I mean, I'm pretty sure if he finishes in 3rd. So it was nice knowing you, Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, that's my controversial pick for this.
I like that.
In about 10 months, we'll come back and everybody will laugh at me.
No, I think in like 3 months. When they won the league by December by the World Cup, we'll be like, yo guy, like what were you on?
Okay, quick one. Relegation picks. We don't have much time left. Everybody go. Wasim first.
The promoted teams, Bournemouth. I can't even remember everybody, but I think Forest. Yeah, Forest, Bournemouth, Fulham. Definitely, and Fulham. Yeah, I'll say all 3 won't survive.
Oh.
Sure.
Yeah, Forest have bought a lot of players, but I don't think those players are just going to gel like that, and it's going to take them time. But I think overall the other teams are, established Premier League teams, so they will know what to do to survive.
Yeah, I think on my side, probably, I think Fulham Bournemouth go down, I think Forest may stay up. And then I'll give you the third one, maybe after the first few games of the season. Let's see what happens down there.
No, come on.
With the
We have to do it now.
Come on,
We have to
I
do
would
it
love for
now.
Everton
We have
to go
to-
down.
We have to
I would love for Everton to
predict
go
this.
down.
Everton is good one with him. I think probably Everton. If Frank stays there for majority of the season, I think they go down. I think they signed someone now yesterday. Or
Yep.
Idrissa Gueye from PSG. I think
Oh, they
he's
signed him
also-
back.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
like a
so,
merry-go-round. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nikita, your picks?
It's going to be Bournemouth, as much as it pains me to say it. And then I'll be controversial. I think it's going to be Leeds, which I don't think is that controversial. But I think the third pick to go down is Leicester City. Goodbye. Don't care for you guys. It's been emotional.
Hectic.
See you, Brendan
Nice.
Rodgers.
I'm going
Back off to
for
the Scottish League for you.
Fulham, Bournemouth, and goodbye Saints. You guys just escaped it
Ooh.
last season.
Yeah.
I think you
That's
guys are
good.
going down this season.
I always feel
Then
the
we'll
end of
find 30
the end of a
players.
season. I always feel the end of a season is an indication of what's going to happen the following season, and that's
Okay.
why I predicted a Newcastle top 10 or top 8 finish potentially. And Southampton, they were the opposite. They went down after a decent start. So
Yeah.
because they finished so poorly, AF might not be wrong. They could be in
Yeah,
trouble.
no. That's a good shout. And hopefully your words speak true and Liverpool pop City this time. Or pop Chelsea according to AF. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, man. City needs to just like get out of that top 2 for a bit. Beran is
Agreed.
making me a bit like nauseous. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyways,
So,
that's
before you end, I've got a question. So let's make this a to be continued episode. So for everyone, maybe when we get back on the next episode in a couple of weeks, if Guardiola doesn't win the Champions League, does it mean it's the end of his reign at City? Because to me, that's the thing that's eluding him. And even if he wins the league this season, I don't think it makes a successful campaign for him. So,
let
I know
that one
time's up,
marinate
so let's-
over the next 2 weeks. But for now, that is a wrap on episode 23 of 343. Just a reminder that if you are joining us for the first time, then please follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Sportycast, and give this video a like and share, and hit that subscribe button and share it with all the people that you know. Thanks you guys for putting through. Always a pleasure. I'm AF4343, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Cheers.